They found us! Säga Natuvin! Eri gloire! Gloire!
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
Tell me you jest.
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die. Ha!
In la truth!
Give me a target.
El Herzer.
I believe to your command.
Ha! Yes.
I'm a monster.
Desselat Zeifel! El Herzer.
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
Yes.
Can't take it anymore.
Desselat Seifel! Yes. Desselat Seifel! Yes. Desselat Seifel!
The castle is secure, Your Grace.
The Nilfgaardians found themselves in a clinch. As boiling oil and tar rained down on them from the walls, they attempted to retreat. Yet Meave's halberdiers cut off their path, and at the fight's end, Meave was victorious. The garrison commander now knelt by the body of the purported Baronet Eldar, in truth a Nilfgaardian spy. He shook his head in disbelief.
He addressed me by name. Knew our watchwords. Why, if you hadn't come along, Your Grace, I fear even to think on it.
Let this be a lesson, then. Trust no one, not a living soul.
Though victory was theirs, the Lyrians left Rasburg in mightily low spirits. They now knew well that Nilfgaard's spies were no less a threat than its heavy cavalry, than its war machines that spit fire.
Milady, if I may, the enemy yet lurks. You must bolster your force. You must incorporate a detachment from my unit. Oh, the times, the world, the day. Can't even tell friend from foe. Treachery round every corner. Black lads may have more mounts and machines, but they've no honour, not an ounce. Watch your back, man. Can't trust no one these days. Not a soul. Watch your back, man. Can't trust no one these days. Not a soul.
We offend their Emperor some ways, Your Majesty.
Keep a keen watch. Beware, my lady. Keep...
Your Majesty, what of Prince Willem? Where is he? Why's he not come to relieve us?
We'd had omens, oddities that foretold this war. Blood in the milk, stillborn foals, trees withered of a sudden, and I lost me tooth in a sweet bun. Beware, my lady. Keep a keen watch. Heard the thunder of hooves.
Meave's retinue was riding through a narrow gully when a shrill cry cut the air.
En van in order!
The gully came alive, and soldiers in black armor rushed forth. A cry in turn went up and down Meave's ranks. Ambush!
Defensive formation!
101, 102, 103.
This harvest will be reaping black-clad heads. My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me. To thee, Nitloir!
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
What? Who dares?
A time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die.
Quiet, or the Commissar will hear.
If the ring won't come off, just take the whole finger.
Ach, Scheiß! In! Zwei!
to the front yet again.
What do you want of me?
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Quiet! Answer will hear.
Give me a time.
My prescription, a bit of bloodletting. A highly curious case.
I want them taken alive! I need answers!
After the skirmish, the Queen's troops brought several Nilfgaardian prisoners before her. Reynard, who had the best command of their mongrel tongue, interrogated. His first question? How many battalions were marching on Dravograd?
Kes Zagdran ep Dravograd ven.
The prisoners whispered feverishly, then one spoke on their behalf. They would answer no questions until the Queen pledged to free them in return. The Lyrian soldiers saw this as arrogance and said as much.
Conditions they're giving us now? Sons of whores! I say, we find a tree with a strong bough, several...
Ignoring the objections of her retinue, Meve pledged what the soldiers wished. They, in turn, admitted their commander had pushed forward ahead of the army's core force. He now awaited reinforcements that would let him take Dravograd. The prisoners claimed these units would march through the village of Turnifen.
To lay there in ambush. Hold them. They could not join forces.
Reynard whispered, leaning in towards the Queen.
We would gain the advantage for the decisive battle.
Meve had obtained invaluable information, while the prisoners would gain their freedom. Or so it seemed at the time. The Queen listened closely to the prisoners, nodding many times. Then she simply said,
Hang them.
As they were dragged away, the prisoners shouted, protested, cursed the Queen, to exactly no avail. Meve simply could not risk their betraying her position as easily as they'd betrayed their commanders. That day, Meve demonstrated she would show the invaders no mercy. The Lyrians marched off, strengthened in their resolve, prepared to fight to the death.
Blackclads trampled my son, your majesty. You saw him walking along the road. He didn't slow, not one bit. My lady, I've nae much, but I'll gladly give me last coin for the cause. For vengeance. Blackclads think us less nor dogs. Ostrich, they cut him down, took his head. All for not taking his hat off in front of their general. Ostrich, they cut him down, took his head.
Meve and company passed by a village evidently pillaged by the Nilfgaardians. From afar they had heard cries, but as they drew near they recognized them not as cries of grief, but as cursing, cries of anger.
Give him a proper walloping, the scoundrel!
Mercy, good folk! I've done nothing wrong!
The villagers stood gathered near the hamlet's center, surrounding an elf, bloodied and cowering. Stones in hand, the peasants threatened and cursed him. The Queen demanded an explanation. A ruddy-faced blacksmith stepped forth and spit.
A Nilfgaardian spy the horse and is, your majesty. He's the one brought him here to raise the village. He's got to hang.
The other villagers agreed with the smith. The elf fell at the Queen's feet and grovelled.
Have mercy, Renner. Save your loyal subject. They lie. They fault me only as I am an elf.
Meve was torn, could not decide who spoke the truth. She thus resolved not to meddle at all. Coming to the elf's defense could only rile the resentful crowd. Later, as the villagers placed a noose around his neck, the elf cursed the Queen's indifference to his fate.
Devils take you, Bonebreaker! Devils take you! Your line! Your whole damned land!
Meve gave the signal to depart. As her force marched off, all heard the elf's cries of grief and pleas for mercy. Then they stopped mid-sentence, and the silence rang in Meve's and her soldiers' ears.
One traitorous head less than we had afore. One traitorous head less than we had afore.
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die. Aye.
Left, right, left, right.
We must trust each other.
Again and again and again.
Take it anymore.
Arbalist at your command.
Tell me you jest.
Her Majesty is exceptional.
What do you want of me?
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
listen to me, old lady.
Time I taught you some respect.
We'll be reaping black-clad heads. I'm a gonna say.
Meave's force made its way to the place the prisoners had indicated, a quaint village named Turnifen. And indeed, soon a cloud of dust appeared on the horizon. A large enemy force approached.
We await your order, Your Grace.
Reynard peered at Meave expectantly. Meave could not let this opportunity pass. The Nilfgaardians marched on, oblivious to the threat. As soon as they found themselves within range, she signaled her arbalists to loose their bolts, then led her cavalry in a charge.
At them! Follow me! Gee up! At them! Valyria!
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Must be an important lesson in this. But what? Hundred and 1, 102, 103. Hundred and 52, 154.
One bullet's all I need. Give me a time.
Of course, as you wish, master.
Arbalist at your command.
Hey, Herta. Yes.
What comes up here?
What? Who dares?
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Zweifel!
We must trust each other. Elherzer.
My prescription, a bit of bloodletting. A highly curious case.
Splendid! One last push now! Not a blackclad to remain within sight of Dravigrad!
Thus Meve led her force to victory. Historians would later term this encounter the Battle of Turnifen. Those Nilfgaardians who survived it spoke of a terror on the field. A woman warrior in gilded armor spattered with blood, her blows so powerful as to pierce the heaviest breastplate, the thickest buckler. The Lyrians now set off toward Dravigrad, buoyed by the vision of their foe expecting reinforcements, friendly banners on the horizon, none of which would ever arrive.
The Blackclads may outnumber us, but we're the more cunning, with the wit! That's how you kill Blackclads, with swarms of bolts from the thicket and pitfalls neath their feet. Ha! Sure, their armor's black, but their blood flows red! Well, only one life to live. I'll march with you, don your colours. We'll chase them Blackclads back across the Yaruga.
Remember this, Nilfgaardians. You'll not defeat the gods. They fear not your torches. They fear not your swords. Blasphemers, pagans, idolaters who prostrate themselves to the sun. Curse you, sons of Nilfgaard. Mongrels, tear your flesh and gnaw your bones. Blasphemers, pagans, idolaters who prostrate themselves to the sun.
a dark shadow suddenly cut across the sky. The Queen instinctively brought her shield up, convinced a Nilfgaardian catapult had lobbed a boulder their way. When the boulder landed in the road ahead, it smashed into splinters and proved an empty barrel.
This is what they cast at us. Barrels. Is this some jest?
Well, they're not known for their sense of humour, the Nilfgaardians,
answered Reynard. Meve stood in her stirrups, squinted, peered into the distance, and let out a hearty chortle. For the barrel had been loosed by neither catapult nor trebuchet, but by a rock troll consumed by fury. At what? A company of Nilfgaardian soldiers had pitched camp by the cave the troll called home.
Troll or non-troll?
Said the Queen, drawing her sword.
None deserve to die at Nilfgaard's hands. Follow me!
Narum! Essayant to the Navian! Forsooth! Order!
Protect the troll!
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Life is mine now.
Retreat!
Arbalest to your command.
It's safe! Your Grace, the troll, it's a bit unpredictable.
Wise choice.
Armor won't serve.
Time I taught you some respect.
One bolt I need.
Waste.
I only eat corpses, except sometimes they're quite fresh.
Humans good do. Soup help.
The Lyrians smashed the Nilfgaardian force. The troll, having grown suddenly pensive, gazed and picked at the invaders' corpses.
Clad in blacks humans, no good humans.
Just so, Sir Troll. The Nilfgaardians are a devious lot. Our land they've attacked most treacherously.
Clad in blacks humans hard. Why no good humans? Big lot armor. Chew got to. Try morsel of human, you wish?
Do you know to whom you speak? This is Her Majesty, your Queen.
Greeting your queen. Soup is me.
There, Reynard. I believe I can manage this. Say, Shoop, you've quite the stockpile of kegs. Do you engage in custom, perhaps?
No, keg's good for smash when Soup angry gets. But costume engaging. That what mean?
It means, well, to trade one thing for another, at a profit.
one thing for other. For glitter rocks, even.
Yes, if you play your cards right, you might just convince someone to pay you in rocks.
Cards. Cards, kegs, trade, glitter rocks. Oh, Shoop plan god. Shoop gotta go. Afore human go, Shoop human give. Your queen aid give, your queen aid get.
The troll turned on his heel and ran out of his cave, his destination known only to himself. As she moved to leave, a hunch told Meve the world would yet hear of this troll named Shoop.
Seen so many armed men in me life, and each one in black plate and winged helm. Heard them Nilfgaardians got hearts of stone, no mercy for a single soul. Reinforcements from the capital, milady. Where are they? Why've we no protection? Never seen so many armed men in me life, and each one...
Look at the palisades. The machines of war. Too many to count.
I cannot fathom it. Has Nilfgaard sent all its forces into Lyria?
No, your grace. But a single army.
Gods protect us.
The queen uttered a juicy curse. Dravagrad stood before them, Nilfgaardians all round it. 3, perhaps 4 battalions of armoured infantry. Arbalists and cavalry behind them. Trebuchet volleys had punched holes in the walls, while battering rams had twisted the main gate open. But elsewise, the city was mere moments from falling to the foe.
stand not a chance. Nilfgaard outnumbers us twofold. More!
Then our men must put double the spirit into the fight. Double the heart. Lyria!
Emboldened by their valiant queen and commander, the Lyrians charged headlong at Nilfgaard's lines into a hail of bolts and arrows.
Attack! Rid this city of all black-clad filth!
Your Grace, I see the commander. We must train our efforts on him.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Can't take it anymore.
the ring won't come off. Just take the whole finger.
Tell me you jest.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Abolist at your command.
The captives didn't deceive. It was fortunate we snared those reinforcements.
An army's a waste of time for one like me. Left, right, left, right.
Gloire!
I'm a one, sir. My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
Discipline shall bring us victory!
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die. Gotta listen to me, old lady.
Zweifel!
Hellhörzer!
Hellkatze!
Ach, Scheiß! In zwei!
What do you want of me?
This eyes will be reaping black-clad heads.
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket.
My boots have got sand aplenty in them.
Tell me you jest.
Can't take it anymore.
Off to the front yet again.
Keep calm, Tiberius.
A time to sow, and a time to die.
Attack! Rid this city of all black-clad filth!
Your Grace, I see the commander. We must train our efforts on him.
Can't take it anymore. Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Tell me you jest.
Can't take it anymore.
I only loot corpses, except sometimes they're quite fresh.
The captives didn't deceive. It was fortunate we snared those reinforcements.
What do you want of me?
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
One gold
Give me a time.
Yes.
Our ballista, your command.
Destillat Zweifel!
Armor won't say.
To the front yet again.
Keep calm, Tiberius. Off to the front yet again.
What the commissar will hear.
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket.
My boots have got sand aplenty in them.
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
They retreat! Your Majesty, the city's ours!
The Nilfgaardians fled in panic, abandoning war machines, shields, and arms. even their wounded. The defenders rejoiced. They laughed boisterously, and cries of delight and chanting could be heard all around. "Warrior Queen!" they shouted. "Meve! Meve! Meve!"
Hear that, your grace.
I do. No sound rings more lovely to a ruler's ear. Yet rest on our laurels we cannot. Caldwell, the situation in the town, what can you tell me?
Wall breached. Thrice. 400 wounded, near 1,000 without roofs over their heads. All nothing compared to the grain stores. Went up in smoke during the siege. And it's some time yet afore the harvest. Your Grace, the war's just begun, I know. All coin should bolster the army, yet if we leave the folk of Dravograd no gold, there will be hunger, with all the attendant discord.
The drought of 1258 I remember all too well. I saw famine, what it drives folk to do, the extremes. A strong army I need desperately, yet not at all costs. The townsfolk need gold to survive till the harvest. Count how much, then give it to the garrison commander.
As you command, Your Grace?
The battle we've won, there's just the war that remains. And Nilfgaard will strike again, doubt it not. We must move on. Caldwell, ride ahead to Lyria. My son must call a gathering of the Council of Peers. Tell him so. We'll have much to discuss. Reynard and I will follow with the troops. We shall seek out any Nilfgaardian stragglers, prevent them from rejoining the main force.
Meve's two adjutants bowed and left the Queen to think. She was hungry, sore from the fight, spent. Yet sensing her soldiers' eyes upon her, she set off for the stable, her gait brisk, her head held high.
Guardian boots. Thought 'twas certain as snow comes with winter. Kings and emperors fight. Leave the common folk to tidy up. Never damn changes. Ever the same. Your Majesty, you saved us, and not a moment too soon. From death, and fate's worse than that, I'd say. Your Majesty, you saved us, and not a moment too soon. From death, and fate's worse than
Huh? Oh. Ha 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 ha!
Golden armor! Golden armor! Golden hair! Reaps blackclads like grain! Maeve! 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 Dark day for the Emperor! His arm is shredded to ribbons! Long may she live, our slayer of blackclads! Hip hip hooray! Dark day for the Emperor! His arm is shredded to ribbons! Dark day for the Emperor! His arm is shredded to ribbons!
A strange boat floated past. Thought it Imperial, but flew not black sails. Milady, a strange boat floated past. Thought it Imperial, but it flew not black sails, but redens. Deep red. Where's Yanko? 'Twere dawn I sent him into the fields, but he's not returned. Milady, a strange boat floated past. Thought it Imperial, but it flew not black sails, but redens.
Astrologers proclaim Week of the Badger. All Nilfgaardian dwellings increase population. The shadow of death's fallen o'er Valyria. Tribes of the south this way come. Price of loyalty's high, high, high. The shadow of death's fallen o'er Valyria. Tribes of the south this way come.
Horns sounded. Maeve recognized them at once as those of the Lyrian vanguard. She drew her sword and prepared to face the invader. Yet coming down upon her force were not Nilfgaardians, but bearded warriors clad in leather, horned helmets on their heads. This was not so. The Queen could not believe her eyes.
Skelligan raiders? This far inland?
But this was no time to be bewildered. Meve spurred her horse. It neighed and reared, and then the twain leapt into the fray.
Reynard, what the devil? Sea raiders here!
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die.
Ha!
Ariel's been chosen. The gods speak to him.
What do you want of me?
Aye.
The gods are with us!
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket.
For blood!
This harvest will be reaping black-clad heads.
We'll ransack your temples! Wipe ourselves on your vestments!
Again and again.
Give us all you got!
Tell me you jest.
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me. Arbalist at your command.
Gods are blowing fair winds today.
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
Ogre Blackhand's taking on new swabbies. What do you say?
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die.
Left, right, left, right.
You've got stones, wench.
I promise you a quick death. What is it?
I'm a monster.
Got a bad case of Roland's back.
Gotta go!
Reynard, what the devil? Sea Raiders here!
Aye.
Let us put our steel to the test!
Should have listened to me old lady.
Ario's been chosen. The gods speak to him.
This harvest, we'll be reaping black-clad heads.
For Bran!
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
We'll ransack your temples! Wipe ourselves on your vestments!
Finish that!
Left, right, left, right.
You wanna pass, you gotta pay. Can't let you through elseways.
Arbalista, your command. Armor won't say.
Gods are blowing fair winds the day.
We must trust each other.
Again and again and again.
We got a bad case of Rowan's back.
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
You've got stones, wench!
Give us all you got!
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Can use this.
Warhawk de Valyria!
promise you a quick death.
Reynard, what the devil? Sea Raiders here!
Aye.
Put our steel to the test! Ario's been chosen. The gods speak to him.
Tell me you jest.
Should have listened to me, old lady.
We'll ransack your temples! Wipe ourselves on your vestments!
Left, right, left, right.
You wanna pass, you gotta pay. Can't let you through elseways.
This harvest will be reaping black-clad heads.
Again and again and again.
Give us all you got!
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Promise you a quick death.
One boat I
You've got stones, wench.
Gods are blowing fair winds the day.
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
We got a bad case of rollers back.
What do you want of me?
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
What is it?
Reynard, what the devil? Sea Raiders here!
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Let us put our steel to the test! Urio's been chosen. The gods speak to him.
What do you want of me?
Can't take it anymore.
For Brad!
Got any bevels? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
We'll ransack your temples! Wipe ourselves on your...
What is it?
You must sweat like a swine in that jacket.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Gods are blowing fair winds today.
Warhawk de Valyria!
Left, right, left, right.
You've got stones, wench.
You wanna pass, you gotta pay. Can't let you through elseways.
One boat's all I need. Aye.
You got a bad case of roller's back.
should have listened to the old lady.
Give us all you got!
The Skelligers fought hard, fought bravely, brought mayhem. Yet the Queen's ordered, disciplined force won the day. The islanders seemed entirely undismayed at their defeat. A trait of theirs, I must admit, I've ever admired.
Well, you're right scrappy for landlubbers. Lippy Goodman applauds you for your pluck, Queen. When we sup, me and the lads will drink your health.
That we shall yet see, sir. We must know something first. What brings you this far inland? What drove you from the sea?
Meve asked, crossing her arms.
Ha! What always drives us? Looting and pillaging. The coast's picked clean since long, so we set our longships up the Yaruga for gold and glory!
Amusing. I always assumed you to be honourable folk.
And who dares to claim elsewise?
Your very actions do so. You've attacked a land preoccupied, a land already at war with invaders. But I suppose it makes sense. You've ever feared to attack Imperials?
The Queen prodded gently.
What did you say, wench?
Gudmund had quickly turned red with rage.
I'll prove just how wrong you are, I will! Why, we'll be drinking mead from Nilfgaardian helmets for sundown! Follow me, lads!
Meve smiled as she watched the islanders gather their gear and prepare to march. She doubted not in the least that Gudmund would honor his pledge.
Here the damage seems not so great.
It appears Nilfgaard's not yet turned its forces towards the capital. We're likely to encounter no more than pathfinders and foragers.
So I hope.
Our ballista, your command.
Can't take it anymore.
Use it.
We must trust each other.
If the ring won't come off, just take the whole finger.
Armor wars.
Can't take it anymore.
Oh, be ashamed to let this empty waste. I only use corpses, but sometimes they're quite fresh.
Her Majesty knows what she's doing.
Give me a time. Our ballista, your command.
A contract. On a monster. Interesting.
As Meave and company traversed the ruddy meadows, strident voices reached their ears.
I beg your pardon. I've heard enough. A duel. I challenge you to a duel.
A duel? Nonsense. I'd sooner lay you across my lap and give your ass a thorough flailing, you scoundrel.
The Queen approached the arguing parties. Two nobles, Lords Cartwright and Mansfield. Quickly she ascertained they were up in arms over ownership of an orchard lying between their estates. Assisting both nobles, their kinsmen, armed to the teeth, prepared to leap at each other and crush heads. Upon spotting Meave, the lords lowered their voices, bowed and presented themselves. Yet they could not keep their ire fettered long and were soon casting aspersions again.
Your Grace, Mansfield has seized it. No, stolen my land. Land that has been in my family for generations.
It is my recompense for your reckless deeds. To burn down me mill in Furchin for a bit of sawdust in your flour? Well, I never.
A bit? Oh, let me at him. Farman's taken ill, cook's feverish, all from that manure. You are a fraud, sir. A fraud and a thief.
Though she faced the not at all trifling matter of the Nilfgaardian invasion, Meave agreed to settle the dispute. Reynard, who knew the history of every Lyrian and Rivian family 7 generations back, served as her advisor.
No doubt I would find for the Cartwrights. They are in the right here as regards the title to the land. Yet your grace must consider, the Mansfields have ever served the crown and never delayed payment of tribute, whereas the Cartwrights are litigious charlatans who owe the royal treasury thousands, many thousands.
From what I've gathered, you've both burdens on your conscience,
said the Queen.
And I've neither the time nor the inclination to ascertain who started this feud. You will split the orchard in 2, make do with half a piece.
But my Queen!
Should my judgment displease you, Mansfield, I can always incorporate the land into the crown.
The Queen's threat silenced the feuding lords, yet it failed to bring their conflict to a close. In a few years' time, they were at one another's throats yet again.
You bloated ass bladder! We'd have managed it ourselves, I told you. But no, judgment. You had to have judgment. You demanded it. You bloated ass bladder!
On their way to the capital, Meave and company happened one fine day upon a lone rider. Had I been at her side, I would immediately have recognized his passionate gaze and altogether chivalrous mien.
Identify yourself, sir, and your intent.
Ake of Denel I am dubbed, and my design I never conceal. The good book says the world is a garden which the gods once conferred upon man, and we men have this garden neglected. In consequence, all manner of filth has made its lair here. Drowners, ghouls, and other kobolds. I have sworn ne'er to rest until the day when, with the gods' help, I have rid the world of these beasts and pests. I wander all lands, seeking out evil and facing it in mortal combat.
Who do we spy? A knight-errant?
Just as likely a madman. How goes your hunt? Caught the trail of any monster?
Monster? Too fair a term by far. An exceptionally vile worm has made its lair in nearby caverns. It is said to be the very distillation of filth. A slither in horror. A mélange of the macabre. Its head, that of a wild cat of Ophir. Its maw full of spiked teeth. The wings of a bat it is said to have. The tail of a scorpion, and from it a thick venom drips. Learned men call this variety a manticore, or mardiacore.
Perhaps it will be most prudent, then, to send for a witcher.
A witcher? Soulless automatons they are, all, feeding on common folk's fears. What they demand gold to do, I perform without demand of any coin.
Sir Ake, far be it from me to discourage you. Your endeavor is noble, no doubt, but from what I have heard, manticores are exceedingly dangerous beasts.
To defeat this filth alone could be a difficult task, I'll not deny. Yet try it I must, for it is what I have sworn before the gods.
We shall help you find and fight the manticore, provided you then pledge to help us fight an even fiercer and filthier beast.
Of course, my lady. Yet what manner of horror is it? A viper? A griffin? A drake of some rare form?
Were it only. 'Tis a beast of 1,000 heads, covered in black armor, its fire consuming whole villages.
Noble lady, I know bestiaries only in parts, yet I've seen some of the world, and never have I heard of such a terror.
You need but look about you, and spot Nilfgaard's legions.
Devastating. But you must forgive me, Your Grace. This struggle between realms is not one to which I can lay a hand.
If such is your view, I shall not insist. The care you show for my folk I greatly appreciate, Sir Ake of Denel. Godspeed.
And to you, Your Majesty.
Not a scrap. Not a scrap. Nothing to bury. Blood's all that's left behind. A whole village. Just one big grave now. Hallowed Mother, look upon these stricken souls what suffered evil. Protect, console. Hallowed Mother.
Lady, something's wrong at Abbott's Ravine. I heard whinnies and screams at first. How all's gone silent. Why ever do the gods punish us so? To be cast out by Nilfgaard, and now to face beasts. Night on the High Road, a day afore last, claimed the beasts called a girly Cora or some such. Why ever do the gods punish us so? To be cast out by Nilfgaard, and now to face beasts.
Got any victuals? Hungry like a wolf, I am.
Give me a time. Our ballista, your command.
Her Majesty is exceptional.
Well? Well? A worm, just as I said. Now who's addled in the head, eh? Well? Well? A worm, just as I said. Now who's addled in the head, eh?
The Nilfgaardian invasion necessitated certain steps. Niamh had dispatched scrolls to her garrison commanders, based upon which they were to announce general musters. She'd hoped that by the time she reached Crydam, fresh recruits would be waiting to join her growing force. Alas, the commander of this fort, one Sergeant Griggs, had only bad news.
Your Majesty, I've not the numbers to man the walls even. The call to arms brings few new recruits and more men desert each day. Folk are terrified something awful. They don't believe in victory.
Since love of country seems insufficient motivation,
Niamh said, standing up from behind the table.
we must make coins speak. Sergeant, announce that all new recruits will receive twice the usual soldier's pay.
Though costly, Niamh's decision brought immediate results. Lured by the promise of gold, townsfolk in droves enlisted with the garrison. The Queen left Crydam poorer, but encouraged, as she had a stronger force in tow.
Nothing stirs a soldier's soul quite like coin. The clinkety-clink of gold. Nothing...
One of them golden sons belongs on the side of my own ship. Nilfgaardians make for good prisoners, good slaves too. They got black shells, but the meat inside's red. Nilfgaardians make for good prisoners, good slaves too.
What's a folk moving about of late? Valyria is our own land, charming, fertile and grand. Is your Majesty also bound for the river? To camp there, perchance? Valyria is our own land.
We welcome you home, Your Majesty.
Home at last, Your Grace.
Mm-hmm. We shall not enjoy it long, I fear. Soon we must face the black-clads in the field.
Yet a moment's peace we will have. After that drubbing you gave them at Dravigrad, they'll wish to rethink their strategy.
Niamh had ridden out of Valyria in early spring, her retinue modest, as none larger was needed for the brief summit of sovereigns. She returned now to her capital, at the head of an army that dragged behind it bandits and Nilfgaardian prisoners in chains. The whole city came out to greet her. Its traders, craftsfolk, priests. Also, her eldest son and heir, Prince Willem. A boy who, it seemed, might never be prepared to rule. Niamh and Willem rode side by side past the cheering throngs, their faces frozen in regal smiles. It was not until they reached the castle stables that they found a corner in which to speak freely, candidly.
Welcome home, Mother. Content I am to see you, to be sure.
And I'm happy to see you. Though I dare say I'd have been much happier to witness you leading an army towards Dravigrad. Willem, I trusted you. Left the realm in your care.
Indeed. And I, in turn, did my utmost to choose the best course for...
Willem, don't be so damned courtly. There's no one else here. My son. Nilfgaard has invaded our home. We're at war. When rulers don't strive and don't choose, when rulers grab their swords and shields and ride out to defend their subjects.
You didn't let me finish.
For 'tis not the time to waste even one word, my son. I need to prepare. I'll see you at the Council of Peers.
And indeed she did, when the peers convened in the throne room. Surrounded by animal hides and Zerrikanian tapestries, the lords stood in tense silence, awaiting the queen. When her figure filled the doorway, they fawningly prostrated themselves.
We've myriad matters to resolve, so I trust you're well rested. Whatever the case, I've no doubt we shall meet the dawn afore we're done. Firstly, we must ask assistance. Pen a letter to King Demavend. Scribe, take this down. Dear... What? Uncle? Cousin? Blast. Again. I, Niamh, By the god's grace, sovereign of Rivia and...
Your Grace, Mother, the peers and I, we've come to propose another solution.
Yes, out with it.
We wish to acknowledge Nilfgaard's authority, pledge fealty to the Emperor.
I beg your pardon.
The black-clad hordes outnumber our forces manyfold, and they're far better equipped. We stand not the slightest chance against them in open...
You will not lecture me about Nilfgaard's army, my son. All you know of them you garnered from coloured renderings, whereas I faced them at Dravograd. I faced them and crushed them.
But your grace, the losses! For this fleeting victory in which you delight, how many of your subjects had to perish? Bend a knee afore the Emperor, and you shall spare thousands.
Nay, never! Understood, Caldwell? Not ever!
I'd hoped to persuade you, but it seems I've failed. Nonetheless, the die's been cast. We've signed the accord with Nilfgaard. Our noble lords stand with me.
The blood left Maeve's face. She had realized her son, who had ever professed to detest politics and shirked his duties as crown prince, had just stabbed her in the back, as had her entire court.
What is this? Treason to my eyes! The gallows is what awaits you!
Willem rules Lyria now. And should you not acquiesce and approve the accord, I fear only you, milady, shall have the pleasure to meet the hangman.
Don't get ahead of yourself, Caldwell. My mother will not be harmed. Not one hair on her head. Understood? Confine the Queen to the tower.
You err deeply, my son.
The Queen was confined to a cell. Gilded armor she had traded for a simple robe. A courtly retinue for a swarm of rats. She was the very picture of misery. At the window of her cell, gripping the bars, Maeve stood powerless, her anger so great she wept and wailed. Her Lyria was free no more.
Have I come at a bad time?
Demons take you, Caldwell. You've long been at this scheme, haven't you? You left the strays of Sparla to roam the realm, to forage, so that I would have to look to them. And thus gained your cohorts the time they needed to complete Lyria's sail to Nilfgaard.
You've seen through it all, that's clear. After the fact, of course, but still.
Willem, you turned him. How?
The boy's not fit to wear the crown. Hasn't sufficient wit nor valor. I know this. You know this. Just, he knows it not. Willem fancied himself a statesman, wished terribly to prove he was one. I made it possible. I've been amply rewarded, I have. Palatine since just yesterday, in fact.
You'll have neither my blessing nor congratulations. Sorry to disappoint you.
I seek neither. I've come for another reason. To bid you adieu. Willem does not seek your death. Does not even fathom it, as you well know. Moreover, his resolve will wilt in time, and he'll wish to free you. So, come the morn, when the young king rides out to pledge fealty afore General Ep Dahi, you shall use your bed linens to hang yourself.
I see. You wish to see me bow afore you, lie prostrate, beg you for mercy. Plough yourself with a pike, Caldwell. And you needn't send your thugs. I'll not falter nor hesitate. I'll take my own life.
Adieu, your grace, and use your last evening wisely.
Meve felt a rush of despair, yet bit her lip to mute any weeping. No, she would not give Caldwell the satisfaction. Morning arrived with the sound of footsteps in the corridor. Meve rose from her cot and stood in the center of her cell. She was prepared for anything. Well, nearly anything.
The Duke of Dogs.
Titles seem senseless under the circumstances, don't you think? Let's forgo them. I'm Gascon.
Has Caldwell sent you? To kill me?
A no and a no. Actually, you're free. How shall I put this? That cad, Count Caldwell, used yours truly and the strays as bait in a scheme aimed at kicking your shapely backside off your throne. Now, I'm hardly vindictive. First to forgive, in fact. Take your threat to send me to the gallows. Forgotten already. Yet being played for a fool, I cannot abide. So when the strays freed me, I knew what I'd do to spite the Count afore I disappeared. I'd free you. That's to say, on one condition. You've got to request it of me, my lady. Courteously.
For my realm I will do this, and much, much more. Even bow afore a brigand. Thus I beg you, Gascon, Duke of Dogs, grant me my freedom.
Ha! Incredible! I've lived to see someone grovel with dignity. The true ruler you've got to be. You are free.
And grateful. Now please let me pass. I must get to the city jail at once.
Would you look at this woman? Free her from one prison, she flies off to the next.
They hold Reynard there. And if I've any ally left, anyone who's not betrayed me, it's him. I must get him out.
Hold, my lady. Unarmed, alone.
Have I any other option?
In a sense. See, they locked a few strays in the city pits too. Got a common cause, I'd say. Care to join forces?
The Queen took Gascon up on his offer. Then she, Gascon, and the strays snuck through the city to its dungeon. Reynard had not wavered for a moment in his devotion to the Queen. Never the slouch, he had also not lost any time.
I've inquired among the other arrested soldiers. Many are prepared to fight, even die at your side, your grace.
Seems they may yet get their chance. But now we must flee. All of us.
Yet in leaving the jail, the company ran into trouble. When Caldwell's cutthroats had failed to find Meve in her cell waiting for her secret execution, they had informed the Count. He, in turn, dispatched patrols into the streets. The Queen and her cohorts ran into one such unit.
Blast. We shan't outrun them. To arms! Gascon? Bloody hell, where'd he get to?
Your Grace, we must make haste. Caldwell's roused the whole city by now.
Aye. Cursed traitors. Should have listened to me old lady. Sod it. Sod it all. This harvest will be reaping black cloud.
Didn't think I'd leave you just like that, did you?
Honestly, I did.
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
As you wish, my lady.
Naturally. At once. Your Grace, what guarantee do we have that they won't stab us in the back?
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die. Don't like this.
That bit the white of an eye from half a league away.
Oh, Lady Margarita told us of this.
Watch your heads!
Left, right, left, right.
My favourite cut of lamb? The shank.
Again.
Doubt I'll ever pay off these school loans.
Catch!
Abolish to your command.
Bigger they are, easier they are to target.
I thank you, Gascon. You and your men, for your aid.
'Tis nought, my lady. Strays never say no to a proper brawl.
No brawl this was. Sun rising against Mother. Lyrian striking at Lyrian. I fear a blood war's begun.
Come now. Seems to me the war's ended. Your realm's lost to Nilfgaard. You've no army to speak of.
Then I shall assemble a new one. And with it have Caldwell hanged, and drive Nilfgaard back across the Yaruga.
You're mad. How will you find the men? Riding from hamlet to hamlet, speaking from atop a crate?
No. I shall find them in Edirn. I've a favour to call in with King Demavend, and I'll sway volunteers to my cause on the way.
Well, you've your first willing warriors already.
How so?
We've nothing left in Lyria. Our hideouts are compromised, Caldwell's sure to set a price on our heads, and Nilfgaardians roam the land in numbers. Besides, I'll be right tickled to see proud Queen Maeve fighting elbow to elbow with a bandit she'd wish to hang just a half day afore.
Well, it is said my foe's foe is my friend. And I'd be a fool to turn down assistance now, no matter who offers. So be it.
Very high-minded of you, my lady. So, shall we shake on't? Nay? Well then, the high road beckons. Though first we must escape the city with our lives. Follow me.
Lyria was hers no more. Maeve now had to flee her capital and realm as quickly as she could. Wont to travel the city streets in a gilded carriage, the Queen now saw them from a slightly different vantage point.
Is this the only way? Are you quite certain?
The Queen is a common fugitive now, so she'd do better to pinch her nose and whinge not at all.
At long last, Maeve reached the gate. Yet this she found shut tight, locked and guarded.
Gods be damned!
Easy, your grace. Nothing we can't solve with a quiver full of quarrels.
Those are our men.
They were, Reynard, were.
Gascon's raiders were poised to loose their boats, but were thwarted when the Queen stepped out in front of them.
What's she? Your Majesty? I've orders to arrest your grace.
Place me in irons, then.
Please understand, I haven't a choice.
Fear not. You'll be rewarded by Caldwell, in Nilfgaardian Florens.
The captain's head dropped. His cheeks burned crimson.
Go, your grace. Flee now, but only to return.
Remember this, Gascon. I'm no fugitive. I'm a queen, robbed of her rightful crown. And though I may need to venture to the world's end before I return, I shall have it back.
Having fled Lyria, Queen Meve ventured into Edirn, her old friend Reynard and new ally Gascon at her side. The war had bitten into this land too. Still, Meve hoped to sway King Demoven to her cause, and with his aid, to oust the traitors, retake her throne, and drive the Nilfgaardian invader from her realm. Yet to start, she was forced to fight, Scoia'tael no less. Emerging from a wood, Meve's retinue encountered a unit of elven rebels just moments from hanging a handful of prisoners. Among the latter, the Queen spotted a woman, a proud warrior with a striking, thick black braid.
The lass I believe I know.
Well, unless we rush to her rescue, it'll soon be you knew her.
Well said. Lyrians, attack!
Hang the butcher! Valoa!
She can't breathe, Your Grace. We must rush to her aid.
I smell a leak.
Go, hop, hop.
Hey, Admiral and ship.
Free the warrior!
You mad? Don't shake that!
Now we will see who is weak.
The elves! Scatter them! They block our path!
We're too late. Hang the butcher! Valoa!
Nay. Duanve
She can't breathe, Your Grace. We must rush to her aid.
The Scoia'tael warriors shocked the Queen with their speed, their cunning, and their cruelty. Yet in the end, the Lyrians prevailed. When the last elf hit the ground, the Queen had her men untie those they'd sought to hang.
A thousand thanks, Your Grace. Heard many tales of your valor. Pleased to see there weren't just flattery and propaganda.
Black Rayla. Haga, we saw you there. You command King Demoven's special forces.
That's right. Though not many remain to command.
So I see. How did it come to this?
My liege sent me to wipe out a Scoia'tael band, led by a rat called Eldane. Followed the vermin's tracks for several days. Straight into his trap, turned out.
Hunting elves in the woods. Truly inspired, I must say.
Had no choice. Doing nothing would have brought us surer, swifter doom. The Black Clad have invaded Edirn. Thanks to elven aid. They snap our supply lines, lurk like dogs, prey on vulnerable units and scouts.
You mean to say Nilfgaard's broken your defenses?
Aye. Though their march will soon halt, believe me. To advance, they'll have to take Rosberg, a stronghold that's yet to fall once. They'll break against its walls like waves upon the rocks.
Rayla, the black swarm I have beheld. Endless lines of infantrymen, countless riders, war machines capable of crushing the hardest stone to gravel.
Your meaning, my lady?
That we must prepare for the worst.
I'll convey your grace's words to the king at the first occasion.
I'd rather hope to convey them myself. I have come to Edirn seeking aid. I wish to ask Demavend for support.
The king is in Rosberg, overseeing siege preparations. I'm heading that way too to report on our skirmish with the Scoia'tael. I might serve as your guide. These lands I know better than any.
Excellent. Guide on.